Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming out to this wonderful event. Thank you, Chicago Innovation, for this Hall of Fame induction. It's really something for me to think about innovation and how it's impacted my life since I was very young. I think for me it started as a curiosity. This curiosity that I just couldn't extinguish, if you will. And that curiosity throughout my youth made me try to make mashed potatoes taste like apple pie. That was a failure. But again, that curiosity led me to excellence, in the pursuit of excellence. And that education, that foundation, I feel is necessary for innovators to understand the core of your discipline, of your career path, of your skill set. And once that education is met, once you become an expert, then you start asking why. Why has it been done like this for hundreds of years? Why are people eating with a fork and a spoon off a plate or out of a bowl? And once you start asking those questions and you realize there might be a better way, then the courage and the trust come into play. And you find yourself asking the right questions to the right people. And all of a sudden, you're outside of that box. And for me, once I ventured outside of that box, there was no going back. And I realized that this creativity, this innovation in the food space for me, brought people a lot of joy and a lot of emotion to food, which at that point, 2001 is when I moved here, that was new. Food was sustenance, right? Maybe food was a social circle or event like this, where you would go and talk to your peers and your colleagues, but you would go to a restaurant to celebrate an anniversary or a birthday or a milestone. You wouldn't necessarily go there to laugh or to be intimidated or to celebrate a milestone in your life while making another one at that dinner. And so for me, that ethos of creativity and innovation took over. And wherever that Grant was, he's gone, disappeared into the creativity. And it became so woven into my personal fabric that everything I look at every day, everything I come across, I tend to ask myself, how can I improve on that? Or how does that fit into my puzzle? And as it turns out, like was mentioned, that's one thing if you're being creative in the food space. But then when you realize that you're about to die at the age of 31, and all of the treatments that are proposed to you seem very antiquated and they seem very in the box. And I said, why? This is 2007. I'm making food float in the air. And they can't figure out this cancer thing? What? So, the big long search, right? And this goes back to Chicago. I flew all over the country. I went to MD Anderson, I went to Sloan Kettering, I went everywhere. And they all told me the same thing. We're going to cut out your tongue, and 6 months later, you're going to die. And I said, there has to be someone out there thinking about cancer, thinking about treatment in a creative, innovative way. And as it turns out, they were right here in Chicago. So now you make yourself vulnerable, like all of us do when we innovate. It's pretty lonely up there at times. Until you realize that this community in Chicago has always embraced innovation. And you realize what your social group, your circles afford you, how they support you. And so then coming out of this successful cancer treatment that was incredibly innovative, you feel a responsibility at that point to not only innovate the way you used to, but innovate for the future. And how do you do that? You have to support the youth. You have to show that you're willing to innovate in a different way so that they can continue the evolution of innovation. Thank you. So on that, I would like to thank all the innovators that created before me and gave me that opportunity, specifically the innovators that saved my life so that I can continue to do what I love. And I'm lucky that other people love that as well. So thank you for this award. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Chicago, for being the best city in the country for people that want to create, redefine, and refine everything that we do. Thank you very much.